we're going to do a video on Viburnums and a few other spring flowering shrubs, or shrubs that have a lot of interest in the spring. But first, I want to show you Pampas grass. That was cut back this morning. Now, by tomorrow evening, you will see growth. In 2 weeks' time, it will be about 6 inches, 9 inches of growth. And certainly in a month's time or 6 weeks' time, you will not know it was ever touched with a saw. It's the 1st of May. We cut it back on the 1st of May. It's a little late. I'd normally do it a bit earlier, but I think we've given it enough time to flower this year. Anyway, we look at the shrubs. This is a Viburnum plicatum. I love Viburnum plicatums. Unfortunately, they're not scented, but you can't have everything. They generally form in layers. You can see sort of a layered effect. It's not one of the most layered ones. Now, the name is sort of a giveaway. It's called Summer Snowflake, and this is the 1st of May. May, June, July, August. It's May, the first day of summer. May, June, July, August, September. Maybe. I think it's maybe the 1st day of summer. May. We always mix it up. But anyway, it's called Summer Snowflake because the reason why is, rather than spring, is that it flowers for a very long time because it doesn't set any seed. So that will have flowers on it, we find, certainly in September up to October. So it's a very good Viburnum, and it's not plicatum, and a lot of the plicatums get very wide, so it's reasonably well behaved. It could be whacked if you wanted. You could whack it back and you could start again, but it would be a terrible pity. Now I want to show another Viburnum plicatum, one called Mariesii, which is much more common because the reason it's common is just that it's a much older variety. I don't think it's as good a variety. It's a much spreadier variety, and you need space for it. And we have planted it over here, perfect spot where it has all the space it wants. And we'll have a look at it. Some people call it the wedding cake tree because the layers, but the wedding cake tree is normally the one over there, Cornus controversa. That one you can just barely see it through the cotinus. But you see where I put it. It could certainly come out to here, all the way around. So it's got lots of space. So it's a perfect spot. There's not many people who have gardens that have that much space, but if you have a garden with that much space, this is a really good shrub to have. Now its autumn colour starts really early, really in July. So you have this lovely coloured foliage, nicely coloured autumn type foliage, right, July, August, September. So it's quite a long season of interest, but it doesn't flower remotely as long as Viburnum plicatum Summer Snowflake. And one that you will see more and more in garden centres is one called Kilimanjaro, Viburnum plicatum Kilimanjaro, which is a narrower one for smaller gardens. That's well worth having as well. But there's Viburnums plicatums, and we'll have a quick look as we're here. Oh, that dogwood is good, isn't it? We'll have a look at Physocarpus. That's the common dogwood, the variegated form of the common dogwood. Cornus, Alba, Variegata, or I think Elegantissima. Look how good it is. Now, that's bad design. You're supposed to have the bright stuff at the front, and you're meant to have the dark stuff at the back, because the dark stuff at the back makes your beds bigger. Bright stuff at the back makes your bed smaller, but there's a little exception. Now, we're meant to cut them hard back, but I'm not going to. I just think that's right there. We deliberately, I did another video, and we put dark fennel in front of it to sort of give a bit of darkness against the brightness. I think it's going to work. And finally, we're going to look at Physocarpus. That's the golden Physocarpus from North America. It's very good if you have a very wet garden, a really wet garden, same as the dogwood. They like the wet conditions and are very easy to grow. And the golden one was very popular when it came out first, but it's been superseded by the dark foliaged ones. I think that's not, Diablo was the very dark one, and I think that's Red Lady or some name like that. And just to finish, just look at the sycamore behind. That's one called Brilliantissimum, and it's good if you for medium-sized garden. In fact, I love sycamores. I know some environmentalists in Ireland don't like them because they're not native, but as far as I'm concerned, they came over with the Normans, which means they're here about 800 years, and after 800 years I think sycamores are entitled to asylum in Ireland. I'm prepared to give them asylum in this garden. So that's my take on sycamores and spring flowering plants today, 1st of May.